Hey, how's it going? Kenny here, and welcome back to another tactic testing video. And up in today's video, I'll be testing the tactic, the 4-3-3 Swanton Bomb Special. And the three teams I've chosen to test this tactic out with are Man City, Nottingham Forest, and Wolves. So first of all, as you can see here, I've got Man City lined up. This is a very interesting tactic in my opinion because first of all, it's not a typical 4-3-3. As you can see here, you've got three DMs. Instead of two centre midfielders, an attack midfielder, or a DM, two centre midfielders, etc. Two secondo volantes on attack, though, and a defensive midfielder on defend. But still, a very, very interesting way to line up your team. And also, another thing that's piqued my interest a lot about this tactic is got a lower defensive line, but a high press. It's not really two instructions you see together. To be honest with you, probably the first time I've seen them together in a tactic testing video. So I'm interested to see how that'll work out. Lower defensive line and high press. As I said, it doesn't make too much sense, but obviously this tactic has got some good reviews. So obviously he's doing something right. And that's an important thing about the tactic as well. Obviously, I am not the creator of this tactic. So if you want to check out the page for this tactic, then do check out the description below where you'll find a link to the page there of the guy who created this. Well, the tactic is balanced mentality as well. Also, it focuses down the wings, as a lot of the tactics do, overlap left and right, focus play on the left and right as well. But with a lower defensive line, with three DMs in there, Acao, Segundo, Volantes on attack, not really what you associate with a DM, but still got a DM in there as well in Rodri or Calvin Phillips, whoever would play there for Man City, I guess. And yeah, it's just a tactic I'm interested to see what will happen. Got low crosses on here as well, which probably wouldn't suit Haaland as much. Well, it doesn't really matter. Any sort of cross would suit him, but with his height of 6'5" and great in the air as well, you probably wouldn't single out just low crosses. So interested to see how he'll do with it. He'll probably do absolutely ridiculously, as he always does. But will there be enough goals in this tactic with balanced mentality and a lower defensive line? That's the real question here. But we'll see, I guess. As I said, Man City, Wolves, and Nottingham Forest are the three teams I've tested out with. Man City up first. I'm going to go on holiday. I'm going to select use current match tactics, and let's see how they get on. Well, the season's been completed here with Man City, and I think it's safe to say that it's been really, really underwhelming. Only one competition Man City have won this season, and that was the Community Shield. You're probably wondering how I haven't been sacked, because if you did this sort of season Man City, then you deserve to be sacked, really, let's be honest. That's because I made myself unsackable through the editor here, so why you see the sign up there for the sake of these videos. Obviously, if I get sacked, it's a bit pointless, really, isn't it? So yeah, go on holiday, make myself unsackable, select the current match tactics and see what happens. The goal difference is quite nice, plus 55 goal difference. Erling Haaland scored 40 goals. That's pretty much average for him on FootballManager. I've seen him score in the high 50s before, so yeah, I've actually seen him score over 60 goals in the tactic testing video, so it's been known to happen, but 40 goals is still, of course, very nice. It's still over a one goal a game, so that's really nice there. 7.78 average rating, plus 55 goal difference, as I said, but 79 points for Man City. That's embarrassing, basically. That's not borderline embarrassing. That is embarrassing. 79 points of Man City is just shocking. 1 point behind Man United in second place and 11 points behind Liverpool in top of the league there. It looks like there was a poor end of the season as well, as you see there. 2 draws, 2 losses and a win on the final game. Is that what cost them the title? Don't know, but Liverpool run out quite big winners there. And Man City third in the league with 79 points is clearly nowhere near good enough. Also, the Champions League, well, knocked out in the quarter-final of the Champions League. You know, it was a big team there, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, etc. It could be almost forgiven a little bit, but a knockdown in the quarter-final by Porto. Now, that is a team that Man City should be absolutely walking over. No way in hell should Man City be knocked out of the Champions League by Porto. That is disgusting. Yes, that is absolutely terrible, really. It had such a great draw there in the quarter-final. Obviously, Porto are no poor team, but you're comparing them to Man City. Man City come out a mile better than them, so that is shocking. FA Cup, they got to the final, so bit of a run there, but they lost to the final of that, so that's not great. The Carabao Cup, they knocked out in the quarter-final of Man United, and the Community Shield, that's the only competition they won. Beat Liverpool in the final, must have been. So yeah, really, really poor season with Man City standards this. Third in the league, knocked down in the quarter-final by Porto, lost the only final they got to, apart from the Community Shield, and knocked out by local rivals Man United in the Carabao Cup. So terrible, terrible season for Man City. I'm interested to see the league table in full here. Well, Haaland's the top goal scorer, highest average rating as well. De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva made the top 3 in terms of assists with 14 and 13, so they're providing the assists for him. Haaland with player match 14 times. Ederson with 18 clean sheets as well. So, on the face of it, things are looking quite good there. The goal difference is looking quite good as well, but 10 draws for the season with Man City, that's not great. 5 losses as well is poor, but turn 5 of those draws into wins, and, well, they would have won the title, wouldn't they? No, turned 6 of those draws into wins and they won the title. So way too many draws. 88 goals scored, quite nice. But when you look at Man United scored 100 goals, it's not that great when you look at it like that. 33 goals conceded is decent. Could have done better in terms of goals scored and goals against. But all in all, it's not too bad. 88 goals, 33 conceded, plus 55 goal difference. 79 points is criminal. Let's check out their home record. Well, at home they lost one game. They lost at home to Southampton 1-0. What a shocking result that is. And Southampton finished bottom of the league. So that is a terrible result. They drew 3 games at home as well. Drew at home to Bournemouth 0-0, which is uncharacteristically like them. Drew at home to Liverpool, Man United as well. So the 2 big games at home, they dropped points in. So the home games look like it really cost Man City this season. They should have beat Southampton and Bournemouth at home. And at home to Liverpool, Man United, the 2 other title challengers, couldn't get a win in either of those games. That's poor. Away from home, 8 wins, 7 draws, and 4 losses. Lost away to Brentford 3-0. Lost away to Leeds 3-1 as well. So, all in all, just a terrible, terrible season for Man City. Let's check out the actual results then. Did they start the season well? Well, they started the season off alright. They beat Liverpool on penalties on the Community Shield. They then beat Leicester and Fulham. But then they drew away to West Ham 0-0. And lost away to Leeds 3-1. So, not a great start to the season at all. A bit unlucky against Leeds there, though. They went 1-0 up for Ake. And Gundogan got sent off in the 29th minute. So, that's a little bit unfortunate. But look at these. Already at the start of the season, too many draws. Drawn away to West Ham. Drawn at home to Man United. Drawn away to Sporting Lisbon as well. But yeah, Atletico Madrid 5-0 at home. That's a nice win. But drew away to Newcastle. Drew away to Liverpool as well in that month. Lost home to Southampton, as I said. So it wasn't a great start to the season, Man City, at all before the World Cup. Did things start to pick up after the World Cup a little bit? We lost away to Chelsea 4-3 in a classic game there. There are lots of wins in this period here. This period looked very, very good for Man City. Beat Leicester 7-4 at home, by the way. What a game that is. Unbelievable. But yeah, lots of wins in this period here. Lost away to Man United in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. But in this period here, between January and the start of March, they actually won 9 league games in a row. So things are going really well at that point. And it looks like a poor end to the season. Drawn at home to Bournemouth 0-0 is shocking. You know, they didn't even score a goal against Porto in the Champions League. What on earth is going on? They lost away to Porto 2-0 in the first leg. And they lost at home to Porto in the second leg 1-0. So that's just, very, very weird how that happened like that. Losing to Porto 3-0 in aggregate. That's just something you cannot see happening at all in real life, isn't it? Very, very strange. But yeah, poor end to the season as well. A poor start to the season and a poor end to the season. Drew away to Liverpool and Tottenham. Then lost away to Brentford. Lost away to Man United as well. Beat Nottingham Forest and then lost in the penalty shootout to Man United. So a terrible end to the season for Man City. They could have saved it towards the end. Obviously knocked down the Champions League. Maybe I just took the confidence massively there. But they could have saved it towards the end. They could have won the league title and the FA Cup. And we're saying this season's not been too bad, really. You know, a cup double and the Community Shield, not too bad. But the fact they lost finished third in the league, lost in the quarter-final of the Champions League by Porto, and lost the FA Cup final. They won the FA Cup, it still would have saved the league and the Champions League campaign, of course. But a league title and the FA Cup. Unfortunately, though, it's been a very, very poor season by Man City. Very poor indeed. Let's check out some of the players here. Well, Erling Haaland's by far the best player in the team. 55 goals and 6 assists in 58 games, 7.68. That's a very, very good season. But let's be honest, that could be better from Haaland. It sounds ridiculous to say, but the fact that he scored, I think, 26 goals in 22 league games this season, to not score more goals in games, it's a little bit off it than what he's in real life. So maybe that's something. Maybe I'm just clutching at straws there. Kevin De Bruyne, though, it's a big drop off to the next best player. De Bruyne with a 7.19 average rating. He's also an unhappy man as well. Unhappy about failing to win the Premier Division. 14 goals, 20 assists is decent though. 5 goals and 15 assists for Ake. What's going on there? Must have been playing as left back. 14 goals and 16 assists for Silva. 14 goals and 11 assists for Foden as well. But all in all, looking at the team here, the average rating, this was a very poor season with Man City. And look down here at Laporte, who started 36 games of the season. He got 6.71 average rating. So he really let the team down as well. Defensively, just didn't seem to be great, to be honest. And all in all, just a terrible season. Can the next team do any better, though? Nottingham Forest, what will they do? Before we get started with Nottingham Forest, guys, please remember that if you like this video, hit that like button for me. It'd really help this video get seen by more people. And also, if you're new around here, do consider hitting that subscribe button as well. It'd really help me out, and he much appreciate as well. So, judging by the Man City results there, looks like this tactic does not suit Man City too well. But will it suit Nottingham Forest, though? Because obviously different tactics work for different teams. Some tactics work for all teams. We shall see about that. But this one for Nottingham Forest, well, it's I would say it's a little bit dangerous. But then I point out at the start there, they've got a lower defensive line. They've got a balanced mentality as well. So not going gung-ho. They've got 3 DMs in here effectively, out of possession. Could do quite well defensively here, Nottingham Forest. We shall see about that. But what is success for Nottingham Forest? Avoiding relegation? Well, I'd like to see him do a bit better than that. You know, maybe get a high mid-table finish. That'd be a successful season for Nottingham Forest, of course. But I'm interested to see what will happen here. I chose Forest because they've got so many players. They've got about 35 players in their squad. I think it's 32 actually. So they've got so many players to choose from. Maybe the assistant manager will make things work. As before, I'm going to go on holiday. I'm going to select use current match tactics, and let's see how Forest get on. Well, Nottingham Forest have had a much better season than Man City. Nottingham Forest finished 9th in the league, which obviously is not as good as 3rd in the league, but massively exceeded expectations here for Forest. They got a top half finish, which is absolutely brilliant. I wasn't expecting that. So it looks like this tactic has worked well for Nottingham Forest, not so well for Man City. Only 7 points off Crystal Palace in 7th place as well, Europa Conference League there. They weren't too far off Arsenal in 6th place as well. What a strange season, by the way. Aston Villa 5th in the league, Palace 7th in the league. What is going on? Tottenham down in 14th. Terrible. But yeah, Forest with a good season there. 17 wins, more wins than losses. Only -3 goal difference, 57 points as well. Just a very, very good season to build on. Miles away from the relegation zone. 30 points clear of Brentford in 18th place. So absolutely smashed in that regard. Not in a relegation battle by any means at all. And look at the start of the season here. They started the season very, very well. And after that point, they were just always in around the top half mark. And they were 9th for a long, long time before the end of the season there. So always looking up rather than down, Forest, and just had a very, very consistent, good season. In terms of the FA Cup, they got knocked down the 3rd round but by Liverpool, so they lost at their first hurdle entering the competition, but they could have asked for a much more trickier game than that to play Liverpool. Carabao Cup, not great in that either though, knocked down the 2nd round by Burnley, so no cup runs there. Maybe that helped them in finishing 9th in the league, I'm not sure. But let's check out Nottingham Forest's results here. It looks like a good start to the season. Well, they lost the first game of the season away to Brighton 2-1. Nothing to be ashamed of, but Brighton actually finished bottom of the league in this virtual universe here. They then drew at home to Liverpool 1-1, which is certainly nothing to be ashamed of. And they then won the next 4 league games on the bounce, beating Brentford, Palace, Fulham and Leicester. They then lost the next 4 games on the bounce, losing 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 and 3-2. Then they won the next 3 games on the bounce. So very, very strange run of form here for Forest. Good run of form, then bad run of form, then good run of form, bad run of form, etc. Struggle for goals before the winter break there, before the World Cup, shall I say. Also started off poorly from the World Cup as well. That was a total of 6 games without a win there. But another good period going into February and March, winning 5 out of 6 games. They lost away to Man United 7-1. So that's probably where the -3 goal difference came from. And then just a average end to the season, won the last couple of games of the season as well. So all in all, Nottingham Forest just consistently quite decent throughout the entire season. Looked like it was one of those teams that could beat anyone and lose to anyone. But strong periods of form, like there in February, 5 wins out of 6. And also 4 wins in a row at the start of the season. Really got on their way there to finish in 9th in the league. Just one real horrendous loss of the season, losing away to Man United 7-1. But I'm sure they won't dwell on it too much. So check out some of the players here who had the best season. Before we check out the players though, actually, let's check out the league table in full. Well, 49 goals scored. So I did say I might struggle for goals this tactic. 88 goals for Man City. Okay, it doesn't sound like they're struggling. But for Man City, with a successful tactic, you'd expect 100 goals plus. So 88 is falling a little bit short of that. 49 goals for Forest as well. It's not bad, but you know, add 10 more goals to that, we could be really talking. 52 goals conceded, nothing to be ashamed of at all for a team like Nottingham Forest. That's quite good actually. But they added a bit more goals to the team. That would have been great, but all in all, you can't complain really, can you? 57 points, 9th in the league. Pretty good going. Their home record, they won 10 games at home, drew 2 and lost 7. Only conceded 20 goals at home, so they did quite well at home. 3 of those losses came into the last 5 games as well. Away from home, quite a decent away record for a team like Nottingham Forest, it has to be said. 7 wins away from home, beating Chelsea away, beat Tottenham away as well, beat Wolves, Brentford, Leicester, Palace and Fulham away. So away from home, Nottingham Forest did really well. At home they did well as well. Just all in all, a great season for Forest, isn't it? Let's be honest, a great season. Let's check out the players here. Well, interestingly, they not got a single player with a green average rating in the season. So no one really stood out for the season. It's just a good team effort. Remu Freuler, though, got the closest to a green average rating. 6.98 from him. 39 games, 4 goals and 2 assists. Henderson had a decent season as well with 6.98 there. Renan Lodi, 6.95. So the best 3 players of the season were all defensively minded players. Freuler a DM, Henderson the goalkeeper, and Lodi the left back. So also Jesse Lingard, 6 goals and 7 assists for him. That's quite decent. Where's Brennan Johnson? Well, Brennan Johnson had a stinker of the season, didn't he? Probably our best player in real life. 7 goals and 5 assists for him with a 6.66. That is poor. Also, Morgan Gibbs-White is a great player in real life, but for the tactic here, 3 DMs, he wasn't really suited to the style of play. He didn't even start a single game in the season for them. But yeah, Nottingham Forest, not really a standout player there, but it seems like the defence has really helped them out. 52 goals conceded for a team the size of Forest is good in the Premier League, in my opinion. So they did really well. Anyway, let's check out the final team in this video, Wolves. Okay, final team of the video. Man City was not successful at all. Nottingham Forest was a big success though, finishing 9th in the league. So will Wolves follow off there? Nottingham Forest left off there. Will it be a success as well? Will it deem the tactic a success for the lower sort of teams, the underdog sort of teams? Or, I don't know, was Nottingham Forest just lucky? Maybe the tactic was just suited to them, I'm not sure. But Wolves here, well, I chose Wolves as well because I feel like they've got a very strong midfield. In terms of Matheus Nunes, Moutinho and Neves, the Portuguese trio there. I feel like it's very good midfield from Wolves, to be honest. Also going forward, I think they've got some very good forward players as well. So got a lot of squad depth in these positions here. Problem with Wolves is their defence. An injury to Collins or Kilman at centre-back there, and I think they're in a whole heaps of trouble, to be honest. So interesting to see how Wolves will do. Nottingham Forest finished in 9th, though. For it to be as successful for Wolves, you'd expect a European place, to be honest. So maybe that's asking a bit too much of Wolves. We shall see. But a top half finish, it's probably going to be successful for Wolves the way they are playing these days. So let's check it out then. Let's go on holiday, select use current match tactics, and let's see how Wolves get on. Well, Wolves did not do as good as Nottingham Forest, it's safe to say. They finished 13th in the league, so not terrible. I think Wolves will probably take that in real life, to be honest, but it's nothing to shout about really, is it? 13th in the league. Only 9 points clear the relegation zone. But, however, different to Nottingham Forest is Wolves did quite well in the cup competitions. They reached the quarter-final of the FA Cup, where they lost to Everton, unfortunately, and they reached the final of the Carabao Cup. We'll see who they lost to in a second, but they almost won the Carabao Cup, which would, that'd been a successful season, wouldn't it? 13th in the league and a Carabao Cup winners' medal there. They also qualified for the Europa Conference League if they win that. So yeah, looking at the league table, it looks like Newcastle beat us in the final since they qualified the Europa Conference League. It looks like Everton won the FA Cup, so it's a bit bizarre to look at the league table here. But seeing as it hasn't gone to another team, Europa Conference League, it looks like Newcastle beat us in the final. We shall see in a second, I guess. We shall see in a second. But Wolves in the league, nothing to shout about. I don't think it's unsuccessful with Man City, though. 13 for Wolves is probably about right, to be honest. So nothing to shout about, nothing to moan too much about either. In terms of the cup competition, I think that really did make the season a little bit better. A runner-up in the Carabao Cup, it would have been twice as good if they won the Carabao Cup, of course. And knocked down the quarter-final by Everton in the FA Cup there. Let's check out the results here for Wolves. How did they start off the season? They started off the season quite well, actually. They beat Brighton 3-0 at home. They lost away to Liverpool 3-1, but then they beat Leeds. They beat Forest back-to-back in the league and the cup. So they started off the season very, very well. But then this period here was absolutely shocking. Struggling for goals massively in this period here. They didn't score a goal in 6 of the next 9 games, which is very, very poor. And the other 2, they scored only 1. The only time they actually did score some goals at home to Southampton 5-2. So really, really poor on the form here for Wolves. Struggling for goals. Everton lost away 2-0. Lost away to Villa 1-0. Was losing away West Ham there, away to Bournemouth. So 4 games in a row about scoring there as well. So very, very poor run of form there towards the World Cup. But yeah, just for the World Cup, though, they had a good run of form. They won 4 in a row in all competitions, beating Palace, Fulham and Leicester. After the World Cup as well, things started to look quite good for Wolves as well. Beat Man City 3-1 away from home, which is an incredible result. Almost an unheard of result. They drew under Tottenham 0-0 as well. Lost home to Arsenal, but they beat Crewe. They beat Leicester on penalties in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Beat Fulham in the Carabao Cup semi-final as well. So a good run of form there for Wolves. And then they lost to Man City in the Carabao Cup final, not Newcastle. And they lost 4-3 after extra time, so that is devastating. Raul Jimenez with a hat-trick in this game as well, so great from him. Yeah, that's really disappointing. Julian Alvarez, the match winner in the after extra time there. So they almost came close to winning the Carabao Cup. After that, though, well, things took a massive, massive hit for the terrible, terrible end to the season. Absolutely shocking. They lost 9 out of 11 league games, which is just awful. Absolutely awful. They beat Brentford and Palace back-to-back there. Before that, they lost 5 games in a row. And after that, they lost 5 games in a row as well. So, yeah, shocking run of form there for Wolves towards the end of the season. Really, really terrible. And also a shocking run of form in September and October. So make those forms a little bit better. And we could be talking about a whole lot of better season for Wolves here. And also beating Man City in the Carabao Cup final, of course. So it wasn't absolutely terrible, but yeah, some really, really poor runs of form. And look at there, 5 games in a row about scoring as well. So many games about scoring. They look like they're too reliant on Raul Jimenez. They need a better striker to go along with him. I think Diego Costa is past his best, to tell you the truth. So could have done a lot better there for Wolves. Let's check out the league table actually in full as well. I'm guessing they haven't scored too many goals, to be honest. Yeah, 46 goals scored. Bit similar to Nottingham Forest. They need to score more goals. 49 conceded again is not too bad at all. Not too bad. But they scored more goals. You know, we could be talking about, a 9th, 8th, even 7th place finish for Wolves right now. But unfortunately, they're just lacking the goals department. Well, they've really struggled at home. Terrible Monu record. You see here, just 3rd from bottom in terms of the home record. Only 5 wins at home all season. 4 draws and 10 losses. Terrible run. Look how many 1-0 losses they had at home as well. They had, 4 5 1-0 losses at home to teams they should be losing at home to as well. So that's really, really poor. Their away record must have been quite good. It was quite good. 8 wins, only 1 draw away to Leeds, and 10 losses away from home. So the away record really did help Wolves this season. In terms of the best player of the season, well, Mateusz Sarkic, the backup goalkeeper with the highest average rating. Can't really count him. But Jimenez looked like he carried the team pretty much the entire season. 22 goals from him, 5 assists for 7.05. Not a single other player in the double digits. The next top goal scorer is actually Adama Traore with 7 goals there and just 9 starts. So he did quite well as well. Ruben Neves with 6 goals and 9 assists. Nunez with 5 goals and 5 assists. Pedro Neto did decent, 6 goals, 9 assists. But all in all, it looks like they're just too reliant on Jimenez. They need a better forward player there. Just take one better forward player and put it in the squad. And yeah, it could be a much better season. But all in all, decent from Wolves, not too bad. Nothing to shout out though, nothing worth remembering. You know, 13th in the league is nothing to shout about at all. But a Carabao Cup runners-up medal is quite nice. Did have quite a favourable run towards the final though, but still saying they got to the final, got to the FA Cup quarter final as well. So in cup competitions it was quite decent from Wolves, but all in all nothing to shout about. Just pretty much an average season from them. Nottingham Forest did really well though, finishing 9th in the league, brilliant from them. Man City very, very underwhelming, only winning the Community Shield. So with this tactic, well, it seems like it's been a pretty average result to be honest. One team did really well, one did really poor, one did average. So the average out of the 3 there is an average tactic, so not great, but with 3 different clubs, it might be a massive success. So the tactic is still quite intriguing for me, but in terms of this results here with this tactic, only Nottingham Forest really shone with the tactic. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. If you want to see more tactic testing videos from me, then please remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video from me, and also hit that like button as well, guys, if you like the video. It really helped me out, and it's much appreciated as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.